Welcome back to Tissueworld Television. I'm your host, Michael Jackson, and here with us at Tissueworld Milan 2019, in our studio, we've got Peter Oksakowski, who's from BHM Engineering over in Europe. He took part in a panel discussion on day one here at the conference, and you're involved, Peter, with your organization in terms of rebuilding or buildings the mills of the future.
Correct. Correct.
What was the key message that you were putting out to the audience here today? Why did you want to be here for them?
Yeah, so first is that it's not easy to implement Industry 4.0. Everybody has a different expectation on that. And the questions we discuss is it only possible to do in a greenfield project or as well in an existing mill?
Now, what's the answer to that? I mean, I know there are some greenfield projects, few and far between probably
exactly,
now.
Yeah.
But in terms of existing refurbs, is that the dominant part of your business that you're involved in?
I guess in Europe, yes, it is dominant, of course, because more and more manufacturers are interested to implement Industry 4.0 in their facilities.
Are they coming to you because it's something they want to do, or is it something that the industry is forcing them to do?
That's hard to say sometimes. I believe is of course, first everybody's interested in saving cost. So having more efficient production, saving raw materials, and all these opportunities is offered by Industry 4.0.
It's interesting though, because when you think of, we had Magnus Groth on, a couple of speakers talking earlier this morning before your presentation, talking about the reluctance to change, although there is a massive need for change across the industry. I mean, you need to have a lot of conviction as a plant or production owner to start making changes at a dramatic level anyway, don't you? The costs are enormous.
Yes. So for sure, manufacturers are scared especially when we talk about initial costs for implementing Industry 4.0, because potentially also it means to rebuild or demolish existing buildings, to invest in new buildings, new technology. And it's also a question then if you invested exactly in the right place, because finally you need to calculate some return on investment. And so it's not always sure there, and is difficult to figure out so that it is done in the right way. So we need to involve a lot of experts finally to figure out what are the right solutions for the specific project to transform that in a 4.0 industry.
And there's a huge team of people that you'll work with along those lines before you start and get your hands dirty, if you will, from your own business's point of view.
Of course, yeah.
How do you justify that ROI? You must have had plenty of examples of really cool savings in productivity, in energy savings, in digitization. Are you taking those case studies and showing them to prospective customers?
Of course, as far as we can. Of course, we cannot transfer secrets from one customer to the other. But of course, there are some case studies we can use as reference, and sometimes it's just there is always one who is the first.
Yeah.
And of course there you can do some simulation, and this is good because meanwhile we have the tools to do this. So we can create 3D models, we can give them all the characteristics already, we can implement supplier models into our digital model, and so at least you can prove in some kind of virtual factory before you build the real factory what probably will happen and what will be the savings.
So we've got elements of digitization and technology coming, we've got newer plant and equipment coming through, and overall energy efficiencies and more economic sides of production at those levels. What's the biggest catalyst for change that you're seeing with the clients that you're working with? Is it because of digitization? Is it because of eco, or is it because of energy savings? What are they most looking for when they come and chat to you?
I think in general to make production more efficient,
right,
and to have cost savings. So this is for sure they have the highest priority, these topics.
Brilliant. And your industry is one that literally is going to grow and grow, because as we've heard, most mills, most plants are really outdated with the equipment they've got.
Correct.
I mean, the 747 jet is 50 years old. I thought that was old the last time I flew on one, but having heard today that the average age of plant and equipment in the industry is 60 or 70 years old. I mean, this is the 21st century now. We have need of your services.
Okay, well, so we are prepared for that.
I'm glad to hear it. Peter, it's a great pleasure to have you in the studio with us. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for being here and having me. Thanks a lot.